Hello, Bill speaking.
Bill, John Douglas.
Hey, John, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with rockbandreviews.com today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. I was looking back at the last time we talked, and it was pre-pandemic. It was September of 2019. And, you probably get this question a lot now that you're doing interviews and getting ready to hit the road again. How did you spend your time during the COVID-19 lockdown?
Trying not to go stir crazy.
Sure.
Which is the key. So, fortunately, I do have the art thing, so I've just done a lot of painting and, a honey-do list around the house, which never ends.
Sure.
And, I mean, that's kind of it. I tried to stay as active and creative as I could. And it's not over yet.
That's true, man. That's true, sadly.
No concerts. Aerosmith just pushed their 2021 summer to 2022, so there's nothing going on. At least this summer. I don't know about the rest of the fall or winter. I don't know, but the summer went away.
Yeah. Well, let's tell people today that who we're talking to with. And today, of course, I'm talking with world-renowned artist and drummer John Douglas. And, of course, fresh off of drumming with Aerosmith at the Grammys and performing at the prestigious Music Cares, where Aerosmith was honored as the Person of the Year. And, of course, John Douglas has been getting ready to kick off his 2021 North American Art Tour, which is what we're going to talk about today. And at what better place than in Delray Beach, Florida, the Grand Opal in Delray, which is Delray Beach's premier luxury resort. Now, the Opal Grand Resort and Spa announces their presentation of Douglas's high-performance fine art tour, limited engagement with live appearances by John on Friday, March 26th and Saturday, March 27th. The event, of course, is complimentary to the public, and all artwork is on exhibition and is available for acquisition. So we're hoping that while a lot of people are going and have been going stir crazy through all of this, now it's kind of time to kind of get out a little bit and test the waters, and hopefully they'll test those waters by coming out to your art show.
Well, I hope so. It's you're exactly right. We're dipping our toes in the deep end and getting out there and trying to mix it up a little bit. And there's still no concerts, no large concerts going on. So I've got a bunch of paintings of rock stars and icons and stuff. So maybe the next best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And to actually own a piece of your artwork, I mean, the detail in your work is beyond amazing. The one painting that I always look to that you do for such realism is the one you did of Bon Jovi. And I think most people, when they look at that painting, at least with me, I go to the hair first, because I think that's probably one of the most difficult things to capture in a painting is just the fineness of the hair. And back then John had that big head of hair all feathered out and really nice and kind of soft, and the way you paint it, you can kind of see the hair just like fluttering in the wind in your paintings, because the hair you do is so fine and so detailed.
Well, thank you. John was the poster child for cool 80s rock and roll hair for sure. So I painted that while I was on tour with him, the Bon Jovi tour, which is, I guess maybe not always the wisest thing to paint a portrait of the boss.
Yeah.
But he loved it and was very, very kind, and he ended up selling a bunch of, we made prints of it, which he sold through his fan club, so he liked it. But, the rock and roll hair, especially his of the 80s, was all about that.
Now, when did you first discover that you had this artistic talent to paint? I mean, that moment where you painted something and you're like, damn, this is pretty freaking good.
I'm my worst critic. The drumming thing came earlier. I mean, my parents would tell me that I was beating on pots and pans, before I could walk.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I was doing that before I could even hold like a command. But if I wasn't, banging on stuff and playing drums, I was, drawing pictures of drums or my favorite bands, and I used to just draw, just pencil on paper at home. I don't really know. I mean, I thought I had a knack for it, but not really until but like all my art teachers at school never really took notice of me. All the girls could stay in the lines better than the boys, and they could color better, and it was so I didn't really get any notice from an art teacher until 8th grade. I think 8th grade was when maybe I realized that I had maybe more than a knack for it, that I had some kind of talent with it. So it's never, I never stopped, even though like the first half of my life was pretty much just pursuing music and playing drums. Being in a band, there's always artwork to do, and design logos and flyers and paint backdrops. And then I started painting my drums and drum heads, and and that whole. And I started painting drums and guitars for all these other bands, So even while I was playing, so they've always kind of gone hand in hand. Fortunately.
Now, there's a lot of musicians out there like yourself that are also amazing artists, and examples include Rick Allen, of Def Leppard, Mickey Hart of the Grateful Dead, Paul Stanley of Kiss, Brian Weed of Tesla. They're all doing their art. Now, I'm wondering, do you think that the two arts of music and painting are intertwined or share the same sort of artistic DNA? Because I'm noticing that it seems that very successful and professional musicians also turn out to be amazing painters as well.
There must be something to that. I mean, the creative mind, and a lot of those I think are good. There's a lot of musicians are great photographers, which is another artistic avenue, and so I think there's obviously songwriting. All the guys you named, are gifted songwriters and performers, and so I think I do think there's probably we're all in some way or another lucky to get to exercise those skills maybe more so than somebody that's not in the arts, whatever that may be. So I think that you're onto something there. It is interesting to see, especially a lot of drummers. Seem to be a lot of drummers.
A lot of drummers, man. Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. Maybe it's the art of holding the drumstick and the paintbrush. It just has that feel,
Yeah.
Now, I understand that a lot of your paintings are done while you're on the road, maybe on a bus or in hotel rooms. Do you use music while you're painting, or do you just prefer to paint in silence?
I listen to music most of the time. I don't always, a lot of people envision, like if I'm painting, a portrait of, whatever, Mick Jagger, they envision that I'm listening to nothing but the Rolling Stones.
Exactly, yeah.
What song did you have in mind when you painted this? And I really kind of don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much addicted to like shuffle on my iPod or iTunes or just Spotify. You just let it go. Whatever comes up. Music wise, but yeah, I always have music going. And that's the other thing I get asked a lot, looking at a painting or something. Like somebody always, well, how long did that take you? And I'm kind of, I don't know, because first of all, I enjoy the process. So it's not like I'm punching the clock. And I just listen to music while I'm doing it. So it's a great way to pass time, and that's originally why touring. There's a lot of time where you just have time to kill. You're away from home, and you're in the hotel, and that's when certainly a lot of people get into trouble with spare time on their hands.
Sure.
And me, I want to be creative, and so I started painting in my hotel rooms to pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway.
So yeah.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
No, you're talking about people are talking about the if you're painting Mick Jagger, are you listening to his music and about not wasting time while you're in another town that you've probably walked around 10 times before when you've been there, and and you get in trouble with idle hands. So you're talking about that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that you want to be creative and create. I mean, just such amazing portraits with your painting in your downtime, which I think is fantastic. And I understand you actually roll up the paintings, keep them in tubes and such, and so any number of paintings can. I mean, you never finished one probably in one hotel stay, I would imagine.
No, sometimes I do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sometimes if you got multiple shows, I know. Actually, on one of the Bon Jovi tours, I did that portrait of JBJ.
Mm-hmm.
We went up. I think we were up to Vancouver or something, and we had to. I could remember this wrong. We went up there, and I think he got sick, or somebody in the band got sick, and we had to cancel a couple of shows. Mm-hmm. So we were parked for a week, and that's a lot of time.
Sure.
There's no shows, no bus rides. That's a week. And so I cranked out a painting, and then another time we same thing in park in New York City, and all of a sudden we had all this time on our hands, and so I sought out an art supply store and went and bought canvas because I had already finished. Because I typically try to plan it all out, and only I can't I don't want to carry around a bunch of stuff. I've got my road rig. I literally carry black paint, white paint, a handful of paintbrushes. Yeah. I mix my paint on the 10-inch head, so all those fit in my suitcase. And then I carry a PVC tube I wrap my canvas around, and I have that the size just big enough to where I know it'll fit in the overhead compartment of an airplane. And so that's what I carry. So and then. Yeah, I typically try to I finish a portrait in usually about 3 weeks of a tour time. Like in Vegas when we were doing the Aerosmith residency. Yeah. Of course, we were just parked in Vegas, which was perfect. So no bus rides or anything. We would just do the show and walk back to our hotel rooms. And we do a 3-week run of 9 shows, and so I'll start a painting at the beginning of that, and at the end of 3 weeks, it's done.
Now, you just mentioned Vegas. A very good friend of mine, Michael Goddard. Are you familiar with him?
Yep.
Amazing painter as well and such. And I don't know, maybe we can get you guys to collab sometime in the future, man.
I've never met him. We've talked on the phone quite a few times during this pandemic.
Yeah.
And but I've never met him in person. So we're looking. I spent so much time in Vegas, but it's like we just moved different circles, and we didn't really connect. I knew people that knew him, and vice versa, but I never met him while we were there. And then, of course, the pandemic hit, and anyway, so we connected, and we've spoken quite a few times, and we'll shoot text back and forth. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him in person and hanging out. We have that plan next time I'm in Vegas, or we can cross paths, hopefully soon.
Awesome. Well, speaking of soon, we're looking forward to seeing you to help kick off your 2021 North American Art Tour, which is going to be at the Opal Grand in Delray Beach, Florida, March 26th and March 27th. So we're really excited. And again, thank you so much for taking time out to talk with rockbandreviews.com today.
Yeah, I also want to mention real quick that we got the Thursday night before that, which I think is the 25th. There's a VIP event which benefits Habitat for Humanity, which is a really important organization that's all about exactly that Habitat, which is homeless and shelter. It's very important. And so that event's Thursday night. So I also want to mention that. That's important to us.
That's fantastic. And how can people go about attending the VIP event?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that yet.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll get with Allison, and I'll make sure I put that up.
Yes, please do, because I do not know how that works.
I hear you. All right, again, no problem. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm going to be up there with Allison, and we're going to bring a photographer and such, and we're going to shoot your opening and everything. And I was wondering, if I brought up a snare drum, would you be willing to sign it to benefit disabled American veterans?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fantastic. Well, we'll see you then. Safe travels, and please stay safe out there.
You got it. Thanks, buddy.
All right, later, man.
Thanks, man.
Bye.